Hi guys, how you going? I'm having a look at the wiring, and I'm glad I did. We knew that it had a few little issues, and so I unwound a fair bit of it, and now we've found out exactly what it was going on. Always had a tacho issue where the tacho would work and then it would sort of fluctuate and not work, and we didn't really look at it because it wasn't something that we were that worried about. And then eventually I had a bit of a look, and I found out it had a broken wire, so I bridged the wire for a while, and now we're doing the rebuild. I've actually gone right into it and found out there's a few more issues going on. So I'll bring you over and show you what it is that's happened in the past, and then how I'll fix it and make it right again. Alright, so we'll do that. Okay, so what we got here is the main loom. Basically, this will be the front of the bike. So these are going up towards the front. That there is the indicator can. So that's the blinker. So this is what that does. And up here, these go up to the ignition. Now, I'll show you now that plug, so this is my speedo, which usually sits up here obviously, and that plug, that goes that way, that plug usually plugs in there like that. There's another smaller one, which I'm going to have to turn this up to show you, and there it is there. So this plug here, I don't know if I've been pointing the camera in the right direction, but that plug there goes into the tacho, and there's a light in the tacho and stuff like that. That's what the other one's doing. And then we've got this wire here. And this wire is supposed to be connected to that one, and for whatever reason, and this is where you can start to see what's happened, you can see that looks like they've joined a loom in, but not a whole loom, because some of the things are still connected normally, factory, and others aren't. So, or maybe they have plugged a whole loom in, but they've used these, what I'd call like household connectors at some stage, and even this one had one, even though it was broken down the line, it still had like a household connector in it. There you go, 400 and, I think it says 415 volts and 15 amps. So anyway, that's what you've got. That's what I've got to play with. And these have been soldered okay, and then here, but never shielded. So we'll fix all that up. So that's basically the mess to repair. This isn't all too bad, and I've cleaned most of it. If you come down here, you'll see that I've opened up this section as well. You can see that. That's what they call the join. That runs off to different things. I don't know what's down there. That's part of the ignition, or the starter. So yeah, so there's a little bit of fixing up to do. I'll zoom. Oh, my computer's gone off. So I'll have a look here, and then I'll show you what's going on. Alright guys, I've just brought you over to the computer for a second. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, because I can see it flickers a little bit. But basically, the tacho's here, and that wire goes up there, keeps going up there, then it runs all the way across there, and then it goes there. So black and red goes into the igniter box, and comes all the way down there, and it's still black and red. So that's where it is, and there's your spark plugs, your coil packs, there's different bits and pieces, you know, right turning, left turning. So if you ever need information about wiring and you're not sure, because some people that scares the crap out of them, wiring, you can always come to one of these things. And they even do ones that are, I'll just spin you around, they even do ones which are a coloured one, so you can actually physically look at the wire and then go back to your bike, or go back to the screen or whatever you need to, and you can follow it as a colour. I've done a fair few of them now, so I sort of know, you know, they're pretty easy. Black and W, well, it could be brown, I guess, and white. It's usually black and white. Y and R is yellow and red, you know, stuff like that. That's pretty basic. But you can, at least you can follow the wires, and even if you're troubleshooting, the things that you will come unstuck with is if, what's over here? So if you've got something like this, so this is the igniter box, so I just know that that pin in there, that's the one that the tacho goes to. And so if the tacho, if I had it all wired up properly and the tacho still didn't work, well, that's, I'd probably start looking at this box. And you can get them, so, but I knew that it had a physical broken wire, so that's why we've hunted it down. So that's what we're doing now, or what I'm doing. Fuse box is in here now, which is in there. I don't know if you can see, that's a little bit dark in there now, but that's the fuse box. It's all been put back in. So I'm just slowly bringing the wires through. There's the back part of the wires, and they're still loose, but that's the actual wiring loom connected to the whole thing, runs down here. So I'll plug all these back in. Again, you can see colours, there's brown, black and white. There's a lot of black in these ones, but a lot of the signal wires do that, but you'll soon figure it out. If it goes the opposite direction, you know you've done it wrong. And just take it out and plug it around again. So alright, so I will, there is another thing I'm going to show you in a sec, but I'll just go and get that ready and then I'll give you a look at that. Okay, if you remember the other day, we just touched on the paint and where I get it from, the brand and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, down at Cranbourne West. Right, so I've got all my paint now and it's pretty basic. It just says dark blue, light blue, that's the white, and the pearl, which I need to put over the tank. But what I wanted to just quickly show you was, because this is the important part, I went on about how there's different paint shops and the paint itself is usually, you know, 90% you're going to get the right paint and all that. But what makes the difference to me between a shop that sells paint and a paint shop is this. When I went and picked up this is the guard that I gave Nigel to colour match it. So when I picked it up, he didn't put any paint on it or anything like that. He made this to get the colour right. Now I don't know what it's going to look like under the light, because I'm sitting under a fluoro basically, which distorts colours terribly. But when he made that, and you might think, oh, that's cool, he's got the light blue and the dark blue, but then when you do this, it actually, that's how he's done it, to make sure that what he's giving me is right. And these ones here are samples that he started off, so he sort of went like that, and no, that's no good, that's too dark, it's still too light, and the same with these. So that was sort of the point I was trying to make the other day, was a good paint shop will spend the time to make sure that the colour is right. You give them a part, they'll spend the time and get it right. So he sprayed that out. He didn't just look up in a book and go, don't worry about the white either, because that white, this actual colour here has got a lot of discolouring in it because of the clear that's over the top. And when you get up here, you can see where the pearl's really discoloured. So, but just to get the lines right, that's why he did that. So that's why I go on a bit about the paint, because, you know, if it's not the right colour, if I rock up to either a car show or a motorbike show, and you've got something there that's really a really nice machine, if it's done as a full custom job, well then I appreciate it for a full custom. But if you're trying to copy the original and the paint colour's not right, and this is taken off an original part, well then that's when we sort of go, well, why did you go to all that effort to rebuild it and then paint it the wrong colour? It's 3 shades or 10 shades too dark or light or whatever. So I do the very best I can to make sure that it's what it was when it came out of the factory, and that's all I can do. So hopefully, because, you know, I spend the time, I let them have it. I don't rush them. I say, take your time, do it, you know, just get it right, and hopefully, you know, when I open these cans up now, that's what I'm going to get. I even know, it might sound funny, but I even know how many coats of this to put on here to get this colour again. This takes 5. This took 5 coats, and there's a sequence to it. That whole thing gets painted white. You let it dry, mask it off, and then I paint the blue, mask it down, paint the blue, 5 coats over the white, and then this one goes over the white as well, 5 coats to get that dark blue. So there's a sequence to it, and he explained to me how he came up with the colour, and then I just reproduce that again to get this. So I hope that sort of helps a bit when you're looking at, because colour matching is just so hard sometimes. Even I cop it, you know, I don't get it quite right sometimes on other things, so I'm really trying to maximise my effort on this one to get it spot on. Alright, so I hope that helps a little bit. Okay, we'll start on soldering up a couple of these wires. This tool here, I don't know where I got it. It's a real simple little thing. It's just got a, it just closes up on the wire and you adjust it through that. Anyway, works good. Simple tool. Just trying to get the wiring up there so it's not hanging on it. Now, some people don't like soldering. I don't know why. It's not that hard, and you can't really go wrong with it. But over the years with my business, I used to get heaps of people ask me to do soldering for them, which I don't mind doing. But it's just, I suppose if they haven't got the equipment, which is only a soldering gun and a bit of solder, but it would make it a bit harder for them. That's the one I want. That's not the plug it's going to. So it's going to go to that. What I'll do is I'll just leave at the moment the wiring on the spool, and then I can come back to it. Just pre-flux it a bit, or pre-solder it a bit. Put them together, a bit of heat in it, and let them go. Sometimes it looks really neat and pretty, and then other times it looks like a mess. This was the other time, so I'll just bring it back over here, preheat it back up. It's a bit better. Well, it's still got a bit of heat in it. You can sort of mould it how you like it, how you want it to be. And there is such a thing as a dry solder, but it shouldn't really happen to you when, if you flux the two pieces, pre-solder them, and then when you join them together a little bit more on there, it should never really come to that, because it's a wet solder going on, and a dry solder is what it says. It's normally more about when they use machine soldering, they'll often get a dry solder. They're pretty good at it now though. Right, so I'll just make that a bit long, because it's got to go down up to the tacho. It doesn't matter really how long it is, I'm only wasting a little bit of wire. So that's that one. So I'll just do one at a time. What I think is they've either damaged or something this plug, and at some stage or another the person who owned it before me has replaced these, but never put any shielding over them. Probably just ripped tape on them. I can remember ripping tape off them. So I don't like it, so I'm going to replace it all. I might just undo that instead of cutting it. Be back in a minute. What I don't get is... Okay. Right, so we'll pull that apart. Get rid of that. I don't know what's going on there, why they did that. That I can't undo, I've got to cut it off. We'll cut that. Get rid of these bits in the bin. And I only need roughly that much to join it. Just take the old bits off. It did look a bit black in there. Who knows? Still a little bit black in there. It's not as bad as the other bit. Okay. Might have carried a bit of heat. If it arced on another bit of wire, it might have got hot. Alright. Alright. Just get some shielding for that and I'll come back in a minute. Okay, I went and got some heat shrink. Oh, that's a better one. Always takes one to get yourself back into it. Put a bit more on it. Flip it over. Slide your heat shrink over the metal, and then I use the iron just up from it, like you can see I'm doing. But you don't have to slow down then, you can get back into it. Here's the other end of it, so I need another one. There's heaps of places you can get heat shrink, but I get mine from J-Car. Just go down there, usually down the back they've got big lengths of it. Doesn't cost much. And all different thicknesses, so for different size wires and stuff. Okay, so I've only done one so far, but that's what we had, and then that's what we end up with. So it's just a neater job, and I'm not worried about it arcing because that's all bare wire there. So I'm not going to get any of that. Alright, so that's basically all we do. So I'll go through and I'll do them all, and I'll bound them up again so they're all a proper unit again, and get it ready, and then you'll see them as I plug them in. So I'll just keep on going, and you don't need to sit there and watch the boring soldering for an hour, because that's what it'll take me to do all them. Alright, so we'll catch us up with you later. Bye. Okay, I just had the wiring guy's nightmare, which is, there's the plug that I've got, and that was the wire that was going into that plug in there, and when I went to strip the end of this, it pulled out of that wire. There it is there, a little piece there. So that there belongs inside there. So sometimes if you haven't done them before, you can destroy the plug getting them out, and I had to sort of guess how this one was held in. They just click in, but sometimes they're a bit hard to get out. But anyway, I got it out. I'm going to re-solder that bit to that bit, then click it back in, and we're away again. Well, that's probably about the worst thing that can happen to you when you're soldering or rewiring up a bike, is that it snaps off at the back here, level, and you've got to get the plug out without destroying it, or the contact out without destroying it, because then you've got to go and do exactly what this person had to do before me, is chop it, put a new one in if you destroy it. So anyway, I saved it. So we're all going good.